Good morning. If your grocery bill feels higher every week, you're not imagining things. Food prices are up across America. Essentials like beef, bananas, and even coffee have seen double-digit price hikes in the past year. These increases force families to make tough choices, cutting back on favorites or switching to cheaper alternatives. The squeeze on household budgets is real, and it's become a hot topic in communities and politics alike. With more money going to groceries, there's less for savings, activities, or emergencies. The pressure is on leaders to find solutions, and now, a major move from the White House could change what you pay at the checkout. Let's break down what's happening and what it means for your next shopping trip. If you've noticed your grocery bill creeping higher and higher lately, you're definitely not alone. One big reason for rising prices? Tariffs. These hidden costs can have a surprising impact on what you pay at the checkout, even if you've never heard the word before. So, what exactly is a tariff? In simple terms, a tariff is a tax that governments place on goods coming in from other countries. Imagine it as an extra fee tacked onto products that are imported. Everything from electronics to clothing, and yes, even the food you eat. When a shipment of goods arrives at a port, customs officials calculate how much tariff is owed, and that amount gets added to the cost of those products before they ever reach your local store. Take coffee and bananas, for example, two staples that aren't grown in large quantities in the US. When companies import these foods, they have to pay the tariff, which increases their costs. But businesses don't just absorb these extra expenses. Instead, they pass them along the supply chain, from importers to wholesalers to retailers, and finally, to you, the shopper. That's why you might see your favorite breakfast items or snacks getting more expensive, even if nothing else seems to have changed. Right now, the current administration has kept a 10% tariff on most imported goods, and for some foods, the rates are even higher. These policies are designed to encourage people to buy American-made products and to protect local farmers and manufacturers from foreign competition. But when it comes to foods we don't produce much of here, like tropical fruits, specialty cheeses, or certain seafood, tariffs can make those items noticeably pricier. While the intention behind tariffs is to support American industries and jobs, the reality for many shoppers is that they end up paying more at the store. This is especially true for products that have to be imported, because they simply aren't grown or made in the US in large enough quantities. Sometimes, tariffs can even lead to shortages or empty shelves if importers decide it's not worth bringing certain products in at all. That's why the recent announcement to roll back some of these tariffs is making headlines and sparking hope for families everywhere. If tariffs are reduced or eliminated on key food imports, it could mean real savings for anyone who buys groceries, especially for those who rely on imported foods for their daily meals. Lower tariffs could also encourage more variety and availability on store shelves, making it easier to find your favorite products at better prices. In short, lower tariffs could translate to lower prices on many of your favorite foods, from fresh produce to packaged snacks. So, what's changing, and how might it affect your next trip to the grocery store? Let's take a closer look at what these tariff changes could mean for you and your family. In a surprise move, President Trump has rolled back tariffs on over 200 food products. The change took effect immediately, targeting everyday staples like beef, coffee, bananas, and orange juice. The rollback also covers items like cocoa, spices, and even some food production chemicals and fertilizers. The president, who long argued tariffs didn't raise prices, now admits they can. And this shift aims to bring relief to American families. The White House says new trade deals made these exemptions possible, framing the move as a win for both diplomacy and your wallet. The goal: lower grocery bills and a little more breathing room for your budget. It's a major reversal, but one designed to help at home while claiming progress abroad. So why the sudden change? The answer? Public pressure. Rising grocery costs have become a top concern for voters, dominating recent elections and pushing leaders to act. The timing of the tariff rollback, right after those elections, shows the administration is responding to economic anxieties. The White House also points to new trade deals with countries like Argentina and Guatemala, saying these agreements allow for tariff cuts. Alongside the rollback, the president announced a plan for $2,000 payments to lower and middle-income families, funded by remaining tariffs. It's a two-pronged approach: cut some costs at the store and put cash directly in people's pockets. The message is clear: leaders are listening, and relief is on the way. So, which groceries could get cheaper? With rising prices putting pressure on household budgets, many families are eager to know which foods might soon be more affordable. The government's new tariff cuts are designed to target everyday essentials, aiming to ease the strain at the checkout counter and help shoppers stretch their dollars further. The list of affected groceries is extensive, over 200 items in total. Among the most notable are staples like beef, coffee, bananas, and orange juice. These are foods that appear on many shopping lists each week, and even small price drops could add up to meaningful savings over time. Popular fruits such as acai berries and oranges are also included, making it easier for families to enjoy a wider variety of nutritious options without breaking the bank. These fruits are often considered superfoods, packed with vitamins and antioxidants, and now they may become more accessible to everyone. This move could make healthy choices more affordable, encouraging shoppers to fill their carts with fresh produce and wholesome foods. For parents trying to provide balanced meals or anyone looking to eat better, these price reductions could make a real difference. Many of these foods aren't produced in large quantities in the US, which means the tariff cuts are focused on imports that Americans rely on, but don't compete directly with domestic farmers. This careful selection helps ensure that local agriculture isn't negatively impacted. By targeting products that aren't widely grown or raised here, the policy aims to support American farmers while still delivering relief to consumers. It's a balancing act, lowering costs for families without undercutting local producers. The rollback also covers a range of processed foods and key ingredients, including cocoa and paprika. These are essential for making everything from sweet treats to savory dishes, and lower import costs could ripple through to a variety of products on store shelves. In addition, some chemicals and fertilizers used in food production are included in the tariff cuts. By reducing the cost of these vital inputs, the policy could help lower expenses for food manufacturers and farmers alike. Lower input costs could mean savings on everything from chocolate bars to packaged snacks, as manufacturers pass on some of those savings to consumers. Over time, this could help keep a wide range of grocery items more affordable. The overall strategy is clear. Target imports that American families depend on, provide relief at the register, and help households manage their food budgets more effectively. At the same time, the plan is designed to avoid backlash from domestic producers by focusing on goods that don't directly compete with local farms. This way, the benefits can be shared widely without harming American agriculture. In the coming weeks, keep an eye out for price drops on these items. As the new tariffs take effect, you may notice your favorite foods becoming a bit more affordable. It's a targeted move to make your grocery cart a little more affordable, helping families put nutritious meals on the table and easing the burden of rising food costs. What does this mean for your wallet? As tariffs drop, the cost of imported foods should fall, and those savings can trickle down to your grocery bill. Even small price cuts add up over time, freeing up money for other essentials or savings. More predictable prices also make it easier to plan your budget and reduce stress at the checkout. For families on tight budgets, every dollar counts, and this move could offer real relief. Beyond the numbers, it's about restoring confidence that your paycheck can cover the basics. The government's action is a direct response to the everyday struggle of affording food. It's a step toward making grocery shopping less of a financial headache. The food industry's reaction to the recent changes in tariffs? It's a complicated mix of optimism, relief, and frustration, depending on who you ask. While some sectors are celebrating, others are left feeling overlooked or even disadvantaged by the selective rollback. Grocery chains and food manufacturing groups are among the most vocal supporters of the new policy. They argue that lower import costs will finally bring some much-needed relief, not just for their own bottom lines, but for everyday shoppers as well. For these companies, the ability to source ingredients and products at reduced prices means they can pass on savings to consumers, potentially lowering prices on a wide range of foods. U.S. producers who rely heavily on imported ingredients, such as cocoa for chocolate makers or spices for specialty food companies, are also hopeful. They expect to benefit from the reduced costs, which could help them stay competitive in a global market. However, even within this group, there's a sense of uncertainty about how long these benefits will last, and whether all ingredients will be covered. On the other hand, the spirits industry is voicing its frustration. Despite the changes, tariffs on European and UK liquors remain firmly in place. Distilleries and importers say this puts them at a disadvantage, especially when compared to other food sectors that are now enjoying relief. Bars and restaurants that specialize in imported spirits like scotch or cognac are still grappling with high costs. Owners worry that these ongoing tariffs will force them to keep prices high, potentially driving away customers and making it harder to compete with establishments that focus on untaxed products. Some business owners feel left out of the relief, questioning why their sector wasn't included in the rollback. The selective nature of the tariff rollback means that while some sectors are seeing immediate benefits, others continue to struggle. This uneven playing field is creating tension within the industry, as winners and losers emerge based on which products are exempted. This divide highlights the ongoing challenge of balancing consumer relief with the diverse interests of the food and beverage industry. Policymakers are under pressure to find solutions that help families at the checkout counter without leaving key sectors behind. For now, the biggest winners appear to be families who may see lower grocery bills and companies tied to the newly exempted foods. These groups are hopeful that the changes will bring lasting benefits, both in terms of affordability and business growth. But as the debate over who gets relief continues, it's clear that the conversation is far from over. The food industry remains divided, and many are watching closely to see what changes might come next. As expected, the tariff rollback has sparked political debate. Critics, especially Democrats, call it an admission that tariffs have hurt American families all along. They argue the move is a reaction to public anger, not a planned strategy. Supporters counter that tariffs were always meant as leverage for better trade deals, and now that progress is made, it's time to ease up. The debate highlights deep divisions over trade policy. Are tariffs a harmful tax or a useful tool? For most Americans, the focus is less on politics and more on whether their grocery bills actually go down. The argument will continue, but the immediate impact is what matters most to families. For now, all eyes are on the checkout line. So, what does all this mean for your next trip to the store? You could soon see lower prices on staples like beef, coffee, and bananas, thanks to the tariff rollback. The changes won't be instant, but savings should start appearing in the coming weeks. Combined with the promised $2,000 payments for many families, this is a real attempt to ease the squeeze of food inflation. The move is about more than policy. It's about making it easier to feed your family. The government is responding to your concerns, aiming to make grocery shopping less stressful. We'll keep watching how these changes play out at the checkout. For now, relief may finally be on the way.